right. Good evening, traders. Let's do a brief audio and visual check. As always, welcome to Slow Markets. We have Coach Jay with me over here to my left. How are you, Coach
What
Jay?
is going on, everybody? I'm doing good, Dakota. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good. It sounds good, looks good. And yeah, it looks like we have a Nightbot in the YouTube chat posting the risk disclosure. So taking a little bit of weight off my shoulders, needing to copy and paste that risk disclosure, which we all should know by now what it is, what it's for, and why it's important. Everything that you guys see in the YouTube is for educational purposes only. No matter how many times we say it night in, night out, it's for educational purposes, not a signals class. Now, that being said, how was your day, Coach Jay? How are you viewing these markets? What are you looking at? And yeah, what's your thought process?
I had an interesting day. I was on fast markets this morning. Had to trade through that or figure out how to trade through that chop in the equities where we chopped around in a pretty tight range for about an hour. It cleaned up afterwards. I missed a really decent trade in the NASDAQ, but then was able to catch a couple of scalps later on in the day. Turned out to be a winning day. Took a short in Crude. Was a loser, but overall decent day. I give it a five out of 10.
Five. Things are now quiet. If I was letting everyone know in the YouTube chat earlier while we were waiting, it feels a little odd that we don't have a random, news tweet or Trump tariff news talking about during slow markets, because for a good week there, it was just every day, every night. And I'm looking at this as, is this a good thing, Coach Jay, for volatility and for traders?
I feel like I was just getting used to it.
I know, that's what I was kind of thinking. Like, yeah, here we go. Fast markets, number two, we have the New York session fast markets, and then we have slow market, fast market during the evening, or slowish markets, however we want to say. And yeah, things are pretty quiet tonight. It's a regular slow market session, but what are you looking at? I know you have the NASDAQ pulled up. We had that conversation before going on about that end of day volume. I know you are on the 3 minute? So
Yep, looking at the 3 minute, it's 3, 5, 15, whatever you want to look at. The end of the day, you'll hear Hoag talk about it tomorrow during the opening call, but the end of the day late spike in the equities, the high of it is at 21,765. That's holding as a support right now. We can see, we opened up Globex session kind of in that spike. Here's the open here. We're starting to use it as a support. So if this continues to hold, more upside. If the market decides that it wants to trade back through this range, then different story potentially. But I think if that 765 area, 750s holds, we're not far from 22,000, Dakota.
no, it's been a wild ride in this market. That is definitely for sure. If we go to my charts, I have the daily chart open, and we all know this. We only get one new candlestick every single day on the daily, and we are at an interesting level. If you remember last week where we had that Sunday gap, we're basically right there. Not only did we have this is interesting, and I didn't catch this yesterday or the day before, but we gapped up there on January 21st. That is where we closed, and we gapped up. So we gapped up above this level, rallied up, had kind of like a 3-bar reversal, gapped down on, I believe this was the Sunday, right? Sold all the way off down to 20,700, recovered that completely the following 4 days. And on Friday, we filled the gap even more and then sold off. And then that following Sunday, it was basically the same thing, just major sell-off. Recovered it in less days instead of 4 days, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. We've recovered it in basically a day, 2 days already. We're already pushing, Friday's price action. But this is definitely an interesting zone. You can see there was resistance here on January 6th, January 7th. Again on December and back in December, and you could kind of just draw a kind of big zone at this level, and there's been not once but twice and then 3 times when we break through this level, we see a lot of bullish momentum. And like you said, 22,000 is 22,000 in the ticket. I mean, there's an argument to be made that we've been in between 22,000 and 21,000, 1,000-point consolidation range. Would that be fair to say? I mean, play this as a zone. You've made quite a bit of money. Buy 21,000, sell 22, buy 21, sell. I mean, this one was 28, but yeah, you guys get the point. Very similar to what we talk about for range traders. It's looking quite possible. Yeah, I don't have too much to add on the daily. And when I zoom into an hourly chart, I talked about this last night, Coach Jay, about average true moves. This kind of helped, and this is kind of why I was looking for shorts during power hour when we measure these moves from top to bottom. Now remember, there's always some discretion on how you want to measure your moves, like whether you want to do with the exact bottom or you want to actually measure from that, from like where whatever you want to decide on that. Just be consistent with those measured moves. And I mean, we could take maybe just another one right there. But when I was doing that, we can't take in today's because I was using this to evaluate today's price action. And I talked about it last night. This is what I was looking for. Now remember, everything's not perfect. It's kind of just on average, right? So we were kind of averaging on these nice rallies. We were getting about 300 points, give or take about 300 points. And so today, during basically the New York session, and pretty much all day, right? Like we had somebody pull up the 30-minute chart, and I'll pull it up here in a second, and you'll see how abnormal that one was. We kind of got it, right? We take an average of 300 points, give or take, and I mean, sure enough, that's pretty dang close to what that move was during the New York session. And I was like just looking for, let's look for a pullback. Let's look for a pullback. Nothing dramatic to where like, yeah, I'm going to sell this and we're going to, sell all the way off down to 500 or break some type of support. Just looking for a little bit of a pullback. And same with these pullbacks lately. It's the same concept, same idea. Of course, we've had more volatile than expected, and saying, if we get some type of a pullback, where could we get to? I mean, was it going to be during power hour? Is it going to be, about what we're seeing tonight? Lately, we've been having sell-offs in the evening, and yeah, I'm not sure. This is something I was talking about. I know you and I have talked about it before in the past as well, Coach Jay, and I think we're at a level here in the NASDAQ that we've had that extended move, and
Yep.
I'm looking for a pullback. And there's 2 ways to play it. There's the aggressive way, which I have been playing it the aggressive way, which is shorting.
Yep.
We all seen how that was in power hour. Profitable, surprisingly, is profitable, but it's
How'd you do that?
It's profitable with like your butt's going to be clenched the entire trade, which it was.
Right.
Where it's, oh man, were you shorting this market? Oh man, this is not looking good. And it worked out. It was the hour before power hour. It was like lunchbox trading. We, JD and Hoag and I, we locked in 35 points, and then JD added, and then he took another trade of profit. So that one worked out really well. And then again during power hour, that one worked out really, really well. I think we closed it for like 45 points or something, and then left a runner on.
It's a nice trade.
And it closed us out for break even. So there is profit to be made there. It's just, oh man, it's one of those gut wrenching type of trades going against the trend. And so there is that way to play it, which is not the best because it's difficult. The other way is to don't trade, wait, be patient, wait. If we do get a pullback, then we could get in. Then we could look to find opportunities to buy it. But yeah, man, that's all I have to say on the NASDAQ is if you're brave enough, if you're aggressive and you want to short this market, then there's definitely an opportunity to do it. There's always an opportunity to do it. If not, the better play is typically being patient, waiting, seeing if we could get some type of a pullback. Maybe we're making some type of a channel, and maybe there's an opportunity down here towards 600 or just some type of pullback. Now, this is what I was going to show you that we were talking about. This 30-minute chart. Do you see this very often, Coach Jay?
14 green candles in a row. No, you don't.
What is up with that? I don't think I don't want to say never, but I don't remember the last time I've seen anything like this one.
It's rare for sure. Yeah, I mean, you zoom out looking at a higher time frame, you don't see. I'm scrolling back. I see on the 26th we had maybe about 14 red candles to the downside. Just looking at orange on my charts here, but here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15. 15 red candles in a row on the 30-minute, and then today to the upside. I guess what goes down must go up. And we had that exact opposite move here today. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, I seen that when I first tuned into Topstep TV this morning. I'm just like, that's interesting. And it started at basically the first couple hours of the London session, when D's on, and talk about a hard market to trade, right? Regardless of whatever direction you're trying to trade in, long or short, it's how in the heck would you find setups in there? Just close your eyes and buy any little pullback, and especially in the market environment that we are currently in, or the past few weeks, where like we just started this session, we just started this slow markets class saying it feels kind of weird that we don't have any tariff news, that we don't have anybody saying anything that would move this market and cause volatility. It's an actual true slow markets, knock on wood. We're seeing a slower market tonight. We are right about where we opened up at 5 p.m. Central, which is nice. That's what we typically see during slow markets, more consistent, more slow trading. But it does not mean that the risk is gone. I want to make sure that's very clear for everybody. Just because things are slow, and like you said, Coach Jay, we're just getting used to it, does not mean it cannot happen. And just be aware, please, just for everybody out there in the chat, stop losses are there for a reason.
100%. I mean, you talking about, finding trade opportunities. I completely dropped the ball this morning on fast markets, and it's going to happen. But this was a perfect one here. And I've been talking about opportunity cost a lot on Topstep TV. But in trying to make sense of this market where it doesn't fit my trading plan, right? This first hour and a half, 2 hours almost, was not very clean price action for my strategy. And I think spending mental capital trying to figure this out may have caused me to miss. I was actually short here. I got out for break even. Possibly the worst location you could have shorted. I talk about it during At the Buzzer as well. But it was so working with some of the VIPs, Dakota, they've asked, about profit targets for the day. And something I gave them, give to your audience too. I think instead of looking at a dollar amount that you want to make, how many trades fit your mental capital and your process for the day, right? That you can actually take. Because there's trade setups out there. We just got to wait for them.
There's always going to be trade setups. There's always tomorrow. The markets are going to be here regardless of whether or not we are here or not. And
right.
You know what, Coach Jay? I am with you. Everyone seen my slow markets trade last night. I had that slow markets trade. It worked out amazing. It was great. It was a textbook trade. Everything worked well. And with that trade, Coach Jay, this morning during the New York session, I woke up. I gave that money back. I gave that money back, taking that trade. I think you were on it. I was doing just that. I was looking to short the NASDAQ. So without seeing today's price action, this is what I was looking for. So I'm going to go through what I was looking for and what I was looking at. So this was last night, right? This was yesterday's price action, and we broke down below that level. And so you can see today during the New York session, we had a lot of volatility. We had that big wick up, and then we started selling off. I got in short here, and sure enough, went up, ran my stop, I lost. Okay, so not only that, I ended up doing it twice. I ended up getting in short at the same level, about these 580s, looking for a short and a rotation down to the lows, and it just smacked me. And I'm like, oh man, you know what? That was definitely not the play. Obviously, with the power of hindsight, looking for this market to sell off, or at least consolidate a little more. And after everything that we've been going through this week and all the risk and all that fun stuff, shorts didn't play throughout the New York session. And as soon as we rallied up, I'm like, all right, here we go. New session highs, new session highs. Let's possibly look for it this afternoon once we get overextended. And they played out a little bit. And yeah, here we are at these highs. The question is, do we run up to those 22,000s? Do we take a look at the 21,800s? Or what are we looking for in that aspect and going into tonight? Both last night and the night before we've been kind of selling off, and it looks at tonight that we are continuing to hold, like you said, and maybe we do find some buyers into this market.
765 held again there. Let's see. They decided not a trade that I want to take right now, because I could see us, retesting the lower 700s also. But
yep. I'm definitely not a buyer in this market right now until we get some type of pullback or better price action, because of what we're looking at on the higher time frame, right? Higher time frame. Looking at this hour, we're seeing some wicks. We're seeing at that average move, the way that I like to measure them, and so it's not a market that I like to buy. I like to be a buyer on these sell-offs. I like to buy sell-offs. I like to buy these pullbacks. Sometimes I do get caught in some craziness, because what was this? Tuesday night, we got that random news in the middle of the night that sold off 200 points and right back up. But yeah, I like these more consistent price action where we have uniform sell-offs, pullbacks, and then looking for continuation.
I agree with you there.
I think that's all I have. That's all I have tonight. I'm not seeing anything else. The more I look at this NASDAQ, the more it's, and maybe it's me trying to convince myself like market direction. I do understand why we're having a hard time going like where these wicks are. Like, yeah, where were these wicks? So that one makes sense. That one makes sense. Anything else above 800, honestly, if we can break through this 800 level, I mean, I could see us getting up to these mid 900s and maybe making a run up to 22,000. And
yep.
Oddly enough, I said this on Sunday night, right after Nick for a Tick was on, when we had that huge gap down and everyone was panicking. It's the same movie. Coach David Green and I basically said the same thing. It's just like, guess what? By the end of this week, we're going to look at this crazy panic where everyone was just so extremely panicking and say, man, what a beautiful buying opportunity it was.
Generational buying opportunity, like Nick Fortick says.
I don't know how many times I've said that in the past year, but it will continue to be true.
Equities are meant to go up.
Right.
Equities are meant to go up. It's not crude oil or natural gas or things like that. They're meant to go up.
Yeah, and we continue to see it. And it doesn't matter whether it's a war, a tariff war, what it is. It's up like a staircase, right? Stair-stepping up. And then, yeah, we have one or 2 days where we just have a dramatic sell-off, recover it all, and then it's just back to buy the dip. And then some dramatic thing, and then buy the dip. I mean, are we going to have something dramatic? I don't know. But until then, it's business as usual, business as usual. And we continue to see it regardless of who's president, regardless of what's going on in these markets, regardless of inflation, regardless of anything. And these markets are very, very resilient. We see it time again. And you know what? Here's another thing. It's not just NASDAQ, right? This isn't just like one market. It's like this is a bundle of stocks. So it's basically a diversified instrument in a way, if you think of it, because if I'm
100%.
trading one individual stock and that individual stock has bad news, that could be detrimental to the stock, and you might not see that stock hit all-time highs. This is the NASDAQ. It's full of major big companies like Apple, Tesla. And so if you short this market for a long period of time, you're essentially saying that all these big cap stocks are not going to be hitting all-time highs anytime
All the
soon.
companies we use every day.
Yeah, all these companies. Yeah, you're going to be shorting a lot of these major companies. So just putting that in perspective, that's always a fun kind of thing to talk about and kind of take a step back and realize, hey, this is actually what we are trading, understanding what we are trading in the first place. Yes, we get caught up saying, it's the NASDAQ, it's very volatile, green candles, red candles, up, down, support, resistance, supply, demand, buy, sell, take profit, all that fun stuff. But we have to just take that step back and realize what we are actually trading, what market we're trading, and what this market consists of. Now, I'm solely talking about the NASDAQ. You could say the same thing with the ES, and then you could jump into something completely different, which is crude oil, right? Crude oil is not a basket of stocks. It's a commodity. Same with lean hogs, same with gold, same with silver. And then you could even go over to currency futures, because here at Topstep we do have currency futures. You're not trading a basket of stocks. You're not trading a commodity. You're trading a currency pair. That's a whole nother different thing. So futures are widely diverse on what you can trade and how it affects these markets. I will say that technicals typically work out on most markets, at least any markets that I trade, but that's something that gets lost on our day-to-day when I'm in class, when we're on TopstepTV, when I'm working with traders. We very rarely have conversations about like, wow, okay, we're trading an instrument that people have in their retirement accounts, right? And
Right.
like you said, it's designed to go up where somebody who doesn't even trade, they're buying this. Like they're part of the reason why this market's going up. Everyone who's retiring, putting money in savings, putting money in their own portfolio is bullish to this market. You don't see someone in their retirement shorting the NASDAQ or shorting Apple in their retirement accounts typically, because they're not the ones that manage it. So
Nope. Everyone is taught buy the equities, hold on to them, buy the S&P 500. Don't look at it for 7 years.
rightfully so, though, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Rightfully so. We're seeing it. How far are we from all-time highs? We are not too far, right? We are.
It's less than 1.5% in the S&Ps. I know that. In the NASDAQ, it's like 3%, but in the S&Ps we're a little closer.
So you're telling me it is very possible to see all-time highs tomorrow?
It's possible. Yeah. I mean, definitely by the end of the week, we know we have non-farm payrolls on Friday. That's a catalyst for volatility for sure. In the S&Ps, we're less than 1.5%. It is very possible.
That's crazy to think about that, right? With everything that's going on in this market, with tariff talks, with everything, these huge sell-offs, we are 3%. We are one good day from an all-time high in the market that we're trading. So just put that in perspective. Gaps typically get filled to the long side, and here we are trading a market that's making higher lows and higher highs. So yeah, I would not be supposed to see this market breaking to the long side. Am I going to buy it right now? I unfortunately am not. I don't mind watching this rally without me, waiting for a decent pullback. Last night there was a beautiful pullback to buy. Unfortunately, it was a little, I just got caught up into the crazy price action that we've seen in the New York session. But yeah, other than that, that's all I have on the NASDAQ. Anything else before we move on to crude oil, Coach Jay?
I got nothing else.
Okay, let's move on. Crude oil. We have seen a lot of volatility in crude oil too, huh?
Just a lot of selling.
Oh, man, this is the market that I should be trading, to be honest.
Why do you say that?
Because I reviewed crude oil last night, and same thing. Beautiful short opportunity. This is the market I was looking at and said, man, here we are again. We had that nice rally. We sold off. We rallied again, basically a $2 bounce. And we were right at the top of kind of this channel that we made, right? You could make an argument however you want to draw this channel. But yeah, it's been sell any rally here in crude oil. And we had that fake out here, sold off, had that $2 pop, and we were right at the top of that channel. And it was just, yeah, let's go ahead and sell crude. Unfortunately, I did not, but here we are pushing $71 a barrel, taking a look at this low around 71, and I could see this thing getting back down to $70 a barrel. I mean, maybe we get to 70 by tomorrow. I would not be surprised. Like that's the next major area of maybe some support or resistance. And yeah, 70. I would put targets on from 70 to 79.5.
Yeah, 70 kind of round number level. Crude has just been a consistent sell-off. That being said, I found myself trying to buy it today, right into resistance. My reads were just completely off. But yeah, it's been a sell. I'm looking at, and shout out to Coach Paul for this, but a 30-minute chart here with a 200 moving average, which is this white line. And with the exception of, earlier in this week, we haven't traded above that 200 moving average since the middle of January, where every time we look up towards it, for the most part, there's a rejection. I think we had some news here, and that's why we got above it. But every time we get up to that white line, you can see on my chart here, there's been a rejection. Now, do we find the bottom of the barrel here somewhere near $70? Maybe, but if 70 gives out, there's a lot more room to the downside, right? Maybe to 60, 66s even. So Anne-Marie did send me a message, and shout out to you, Anne-Marie, if you're listening. She saw me trying to buy crude on TopstepTV. She sends me a message in Slack. She says, hey, the fundamental news about crude is very bearish right now, so just be careful buying it. So
I love that. That's, I mean,
teamwork.
Always, right? Me and you're always sending messages. Me, you, Hoag, Eddie. That's what I absolutely love here at Topstep. It's hard to beat it. It's a trading community. We all have our own opinions. Like you even just said, like sometimes we just are not reading the market correctly, whether we're letting our own bias get to our trading or something's going on. Maybe there's something that I see that you don't, and it's always good to ask questions, right? And that's okay, right? And I always will tell traders, hey, trade your own process. Don't let anybody else tell you how to trade. However, getting a second, fresh set of eyes when you're struggling is a good thing. It's like, man,
100%.
I'm struggling. What am I doing wrong? Well, I don't know. I don't know. Let's take a moment, pause, take a step back, and maybe see. Maybe it's you. Odds are it is you. The market. You can't blame the market sometimes. No matter what, you can't blame someone else. You can't blame some random person online and say, this is the reason why I lost. That's insane, and it's insanity. It's always, you are always the reason why you lose money. It's
100%.
not the market's
click the
fault,
button at the end of the day,
right? Because the markets move up and down. You always have news events. You always have this and this and that. It's us that trades a strategy. Yes, you could have a bad trade and it not be. It's as long as you follow your process. If the market goes against you, too bad. That's called trading. It's statistics. Nothing's 100%. But I love that. I love it more and more again. And that goes to answering this trader in the chat. It says, so why do you keep shorting the New York Open, Dakota? So if you've watched me trade enough, you know that I don't always short the open. How many? I actually, it's usually the exact opposite, right, Jay? I'm usually just buying it.
Right.
But with this volatility and with what's been going on the past 2 weeks, I'm more inclined to short at some areas than I typically am. And it's due to this volatility and it's due to the headline risk. And I mean, we've seen it play out many times over these past couple weeks. And so, yeah, some market conditions, depending on what we're looking at, I'm okay with putting more risk on, like we seen during Power Hour today. Everyone's seen it during Power Hour and the hour before, where typically I would not short that if it was a nice, quiet market and it was maybe summer. No way would I ever be placing that trade in the summer with low volatility. That's crazy to me and the way that I trade. But during a very volatile market with all the uncertainty that's going on, it's, yeah, man, I'm okay with placing, a short trade and looking for volatility to the downside. So yeah, that's give or take, right? I lose, I win. Today I haven't placed a trade at all tonight, but overall I'm up for the week, right? I took that nice payout. I'm positive I'll probably take a payout tomorrow, Coach Jay. Um,
Nice.
tomorrow being
Gold is moving
Friday.
right now.
Tomorrow being Friday, we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'm gonna try and take some more payouts every Friday or something down that line and keep my account at $100,000. But yeah, that's all I have on the NASDAQ. Let's move on to,
We got a question here,
yeah.
Dakota. I think this is a pretty good one. I don't know if we talked about this.
Okay.
Great Filibuster asked, does being on Topstep TV emotionally get you into positions you normally wouldn't take offline? It's a good question.
It used
Uh,
to for me.
I was,
What
yep,
what about you?
it used to. It used to. It used to where I felt like I had to take a trade. I don't feel like that anymore. I think we've gotten adjusted to it. Um,
Mm.
Sometimes might it keep me out of trades? Maybe. If I'm not focused, if I'm, in middle of conversation where if we might be having a good conversation, do I miss a trade every once in a while? Potentially. But force me into trades at this point, no.
I would say I used to a lot because I was looking at it as, yeah, I'm on air. I'm in front of thousands of traders. They want to see a trade. It would
Yep.
be it would be very boring for me to just sit here and we just watch these markets together. It could be like paint drying,
It's
especially
like
during
watching a
slow markets.
watching a basketball game and they never shoot the ball.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, yeah, this is tradertainment. You want us to trade and all that fun stuff. And then more and more as I got used to it, I'm just like, you know what? I really need to show what like true trading is. Like if I'm doing this by myself, like how would it be me only taking one trade in a 2 hour session? It might be boring, but it's true. And it's nice to have you and Andre and Hoag to just have conversation, and maybe they see a trade and I could just talk and wait and wait and wait. And then I place one trade, and if I lose, then it's like, wow, I just waited for 3 hours, placed one trade and lost. But that's how trading is. And slow markets, I'm a little bit more distracted because I run the show myself, right? So it's a little bit harder. And I would say it's a lot less now than it used to be when it comes to placing trades and being influenced to place trades. But yeah, it's always been something in the back of my mind. I know it's been something in the back of your mind, right, Coach Jay? Uh,
Yep.
Especially
Yep.
how it influences your trades too. Go send us
100%.
a reply into that one question that I was saying about trying to short the New York session. Where did it go? You replied in the chat somewhere. Oh, I asked because you guys explain how people who have money in 401ks, etc., and don't even trade are buying stocks up. So that is correct. That's looking at a more fundamental and a longer term perspective. But since we are day traders and since we are in another market in the same day, the market fundamentals typically do not have too big of an effect on the minute to minute trades or the scalp trades that you see here.
Yep. It's a good thing about being a day trader, right? You can take both sides of the market because you're looking for quick opportunities. We're not making investment decisions with these day trades.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. One more question. We'll jump over to the next market, which is my love-hate relationship, Nikkei. How did you develop how did you develop a reliable strategy, and what advice would you have? Play strategy, indicator, roulette until something sticks. Thoughts on that one, Jay?
How do you develop a reliable strategy? I think first
Yeah.
you have to try things, right? You have to try things or an hourly, and on a chart pattern, usually a 3-bar reversal, he's looking for a trade, right? I just gave you Dakota's trading strategy in 4 sentences for the
Essentially,
most
yeah.
part,
Yeah. We
right?
are getting a little bit of buffer. If you are getting buffer, just go ahead and hit the refresh button. I honestly, I at this point, I don't know what it is. It might have to be, I don't know. I don't know. F in the chat for the stream. It's running fine on us again. Not sure. It's been one of
clear
those
here.
things, but yeah, I think there's an overall strategy, right? And for me, it's just keep it as simple as possible. My best advice for somebody building a strategy: keep it simple, follow it, and then be flexible. And I throw that be flexible in because the markets change. And as the market changes, we have to change with it. Now, I know traders say all the time, well, you don't have a process. What's your process? And I try and go through it the best I can. Very frequently, I talk about it, technical analysis, but the way that you can utilize that technical analysis can change. It could change very frequently depending on the markets. The past 2 weeks, with all this volatility and headline risk that we've been talking about a lot, the strategy's different, right? The way that you, I guess, execute that strategy is a little bit different, just like a sports team. You know that Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry, they love to shoot threes and they have their own way of playing, but during the game changes. Are they going to be doing this type of play? Are they doing this? Are they doing that? And you could do that analogy with so many different sports and professional, events, that they have an overall strategy on how they are as a team or how we are as a trader. But as the markets change, we have to change how we're going about it as well. Did that make sense to you, Jay?
Yep, makes a ton of sense to me. Have a strategy, figure out when you can execute it, how you can execute it, get comfortable with it, and it's going to be yours at the end of the day. As much as you watch Dakota, you're never going to be able to trade like Dakota. As much as you watch me, you're never going to be able to trade like me or whoever it is.
Yeah.
Because you're your own unique person, and it might sound cliche, but it is the truth, right? Everyone is coming to this game from a different angle. So find out what makes sense for you. Most important for anybody who wants to try to succeed, manage your risk. Don't lose a whole lot.
Yeah.
Coach Jack says that all the time. He's like, there's one rule: don't lose a lot of money.
That's the best rule, though, right? And that sometimes that's all that matters. That's
Right.
all that matters. To be honest, I get comments on social media all the time like, I just want to be like you. I just want to trade like you. And I always reply, I'm like, no, maybe you just want to trade like you, right? I tell all traders all the time, I'm not the best trader. I'm really not. I'm average. I always tease the simfluencers and the sim accounts. I'm an average trader. I am. I just am pretty good at being average. There's some absolutely amazing traders. We're starting to see that in the live accounts here at Topstep. Some of the best traders, you'll never see them on social media. You'll never see them on social media. You'll never see them talking. You'll never see them sharing anything that they're doing. They just keep to themselves and live their lives.
100%. BRZO says, so just trade and you'll learn, kind of like playing a sport. Am I getting that right? Yeah, but right, kind of like playing a sport, but you're not doing it blind, right? You can watch someone, how they go about their process, and then say, hey, I want to figure out how I can go about that same process, right? Tiger Woods could tell me how to swing a golf club, but just having a conversation with him doesn't help me hit a golf ball, right? Eventually, I got to get out and do it on my own. So, yeah, find what resonates with you and then try it.
Exactly. Yes. Yep. And everyone's different. I think we've said this a few times too, Coach Jay. You can get into tell everybody to get into the same trade, the same strategy, and everybody will do it differently. By the way, I just jumped into a long on the NASDAQ on a practice account, on a practice. Okay. This is not my live. This is simply a practice looking for that push up to these 800s. So,
chat was not going to miss that. Netflix says, we heard an order filled. It wasn't me.
You hear it? You hear order filled, and then you get triggered into a long.
It was not me.
I give traders PTSD if they hear order filled. A million people just entered. Did the tilts change is the question.
That's a good question. Let me bring it up. Tilt is 57% short at 21,771.
Say that again.
57% short at 21,771. So pretty much short right here. And longs, 43% longs at 772. So everyone's literally sitting right here, just waiting.
Right in the middle. We're just right in the middle of this range. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see. We could watch this trade play out. Remember, this is just a practice. I'm not going to be trading this in my live account. I mean, this is looking pretty bullish, but I would prefer a pullback before I even get in my live account. And I have my stop loss right here under this support. I'd be okay if we break below that. Then I'll get my stop loss ran. Practice full port. Post trader stress disorder, PTSD. There is something to that. Usually you gain a lot of clarity after the trade finishes up.
So Mark Saunders made a comment here. He said, I think you are down to the essence of trading now, but you have thousands of traders listening to your show. They want to be like you. I listen every day waiting for a nugget. I think that's a good strategy, right? You're watching because you want to see how someone goes about their process, right? So you can establish your own, right? Ideally, the goal is for you to be as fluent in your process as anybody that you admire talking about their process, right? Not about the P&L that they make. Can they talk about their process and follow it consistently? That's your goal.
Yes. That's
post-trade clarity.
You just gotta stop watching the chat sometimes. Yeah, Lou.
It's hard to do.
Clarity. You know what I'm also referring to. It's true, man. It really is. It's the same feeling sometimes. It's charts after dark, man.
Where are you long from?
I am long from 67.75. I'm looking for this to break above 75. This is not a longer term trade. I'll probably take profits right here at like a 780s. I'll get out manually. I like to get in and out of these trades manually during slow markets. Hey Dakota, may you please share when you first got your live account? How much capital did the live account start out with? Thanks. So I started, if you believe this or not, I did post this. I started about a year ago in these accounts. And I started with Topstep. I was a coach before. I was working with you, Coach Jay. You remember? I was working with you. I'm like, yeah, I don't mind helping some traders. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to start trading, right? Might as well teach by doing. So I got some combines. I opened some accounts. And this was mid-January, beginning of February. I started with 3 combines, I think, at the time, right? 3 combines. I built that up to 50,000, I think. Maybe 100,000. It was something. I got transferred to live. And then I traded live. I built that up to 250,000, and I took a big payout. I went through a drawdown. I lost money, and then I switched over to Topstep X, and then I started in combines, brand new, starting from zero. Started in combines on Topstep X. Learned this new platform at the end of July. So at the end of July, I started brand new combines, and by middle of August, I got transferred back to live. And then I was trading live. I was also trading combines because we could do both, right? At that point in time. So that's before the new
Yep.
rules. I was able to trade a live account, and I was also able to trade combines. And so I was doing good in my live account, and I did good in combines. They got transferred to XFA, and then I was able to pull the money from my XFAs and build up my live account even more. And I did that into the beginning of December. And that's how I got to over $500,000. And then I struggled in December pretty bad, actually. I had like a $50,000 drawdown in December. And here I am at $100,000 after taking the payouts and continuing to trade my live account. The nice thing is I've been in the live account for most of the year. Like I only spent probably 1 month in combines and XFAs, maybe 2 months during those transition. The rest of the year, all live. Now there's a lot of profits in those XFAs, but this live account that I trade here on Topstep X, it's been open now for 99 days, trading days too, not just weekends.
Nice.
It's been open for 99 days. That's
Trying to figure out if I want to get long gold
switch to
or
it.
where I can do that. Right, gold's just been rallying. This is just a practice account. I'm doing this to kind of measure out what the risk would look like on a couple of micros. But I think I want to be long gold.
That's been the trend, man.
Yeah, I'm okay losing if I'm buying gold. Right, if I buy it at the wrong spot, I'm okay. I don't know if it's here, maybe 28.85-ish, a little bit of a pullback. But I would be doing this with micros on. I started a 100K account with the VIPs also. My daily loss limit on that is $300, so I have to trade micros. But I think I want to be long.
We got to 2,900 today on gold, huh?
We did 29.06.
It's been by the dip. I haven't seen a decent pullback on gold for a few days, but February 3rd, it's been just a couple days. Could this be that pullback that I see what you're referring to? We touched 2,900 and pulled back down to 2,880.
Yep.
What would be your target if you're long?
Conservative has to be 2,900 just because it's the major level. But then above that, 3,000.
Why? Why not?
I mean,
Why
why
not?
not? It's a whole number up there.
It depends about the time frame on the trade, but I get it. I like this one for a run back up to the 2,900. Where's your stop?
Right now it's at 75, but this wouldn't be my entry. This is just a practice account. I was just kind of wanted to see if I took a long here, what that risk would be. I think my trade probably is somewhere closer to 28.80, and then the risk would be below 66.
Okay, 66. Oh, well, that makes sense to me. I like that one.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that actually. I'll just put a limit buy here, 21. We'll go 81, so we'll go right at kind of the lows here.
Lolo says she's long gold in real life. Me too.
Physical gold.
Yep. I got an amazing entry on that one too. I mean, I had to pay $100 premium, but it still feels like a good entry. It made me feel like a win. I'm like at break even now, but I bought gold. I bought some physical gold when we were down at like 26.50, I think.
It's a
and
nice trade.
they did a like $100 premium because it's obviously a mint, right? It's bullion, and you pay for the premium. And yeah, my break even was like 780. So here we are at right above it.
Coach Hoop is short gold. He said, fade him. I'm not fading you, Coach. I just want to, when you're ready to get out of that position, I'll be taking a long.
I did not buy any of that Costco gold tube. I know a guy. This time I actually do know a guy, so
I think we got another guy in the chat. If you want Valentine trades, I deal gold and silver and can pretty much get it at spot for you.
yeah.
It's good to know people.
Yeah, the guy that he does he owns his own mint in Utah, and he buys in bulk. And man, you don't realize how heavy gold is until you pick up a bar, like a decent sized bar, like a kilo. Like you fill a kilo of gold. It's weird how small it looks. You don't realize it's weird. Coach Hoop, I got a gold guy. Is Costco still selling gold? I don't know. Dead weight. Yeah, it's who's that bodybuilder who disguises himself as
You talked about him the other day.
yeah,
Can't remember the name.
I did. Like that's how I describe gold, right? It's like a sleeper build. That's what gold is. Yeah, Anatoly.
A kilo weighs a kilo. It does, but a kilo of gold and a kilo of something else might look different.
Yeah, we're referring to the looks. We didn't say it weighs heavier than a kilo of anything else. It's not one of those what weighs more, a kilo of gold or a kilo of feathers. Density is the word I'm looking for.
Doing a science class.
There was a wrestler named Gold Dust, old school. That's like 80s. A kilo is 2.5 pounds. Yes, okay. Markets are slow. I like this. I miss these markets. I loved it. Last night we got this, and I had an amazing trade on the Nikkei, and we're getting it again tonight. And NASDAQ is looking decent. I'm up 7.5 points, getting some consolidation. I'm going to take a look at the Nikkei, Coach Jay, while you watch that one. Nikkei is selling off. What is going on there? Is that some tariff fears? Not sure, but Nikkei is looking really heavy, right? We had that gap down. It's looking a lot more bearish than the NASDAQ. We had that. This is a 1 hour chart. Major rejection. We did get to 39,000. Last night I was buying, I don't know where I was buying, somewhere down here. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get back down towards these 700s. I don't want to be long or short the Nikkei. Possibly, if anything, I would be looking for longs. But is that news? Is that news? That's quite the move here in the Nikkei.
Checking the calendar, I'm not seeing anything.
There's a speaker. Bank of Japan's Tamura speaks. So maybe we had Jefferson speak, Bank of Japan, Tamura speaks. So maybe he is moving the markets because he spoke an hour ago, which would kind of make sense why these markets would be moving here on the Nikkei. But maybe it's a buying opportunity. Last night I bought it. That was a decent trade last night where I got in at 700s, and here we are at 905s, kind of in the middle. I'm not really liking any setup on the Nikkei. Looking at it from that overall perspective, I mean, we're having a hard time holding above where that gap was on Sunday. So a lot more bearish on the Nikkei than any other market. Where, yeah, do we get continuation down? Maybe. Not sure. let's take a look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ, still not much is really going on in the NASDAQ. Zoom right back in.
Close to your 80s here.
Yeah, we got a nice little bounce up. I'm gonna zoom in. This isn't the time frame I'm gonna trade in, but yeah, seeing this nice bullish market structure, right, where we broke through these lower 70s, right? We broke through. We had a little bit of a pullback, and now we are getting continuation. And I'm thinking 83. I'm gonna put just one on sell limit right there at, let's do 82.5. 82.5. I'll wonder if that'll affect LE. Oh, good question. How come slow markets is not streaming on X? One day I'll get slow markets to be streamed on X. Right now everything's running off of my computer. We're getting a little bit of buffering, but yeah, I think one of these days we'll get slow markets to be on X. Topstep's continuing to improve on all aspects, right? Not only internally as a prop firm, a true and real prop firm, but on Topstep TV too. It's continuing to improve, get better. We got you with at the buzzer, Coach Jay. We have the VIP coming out, and that's been out, and a lot, right? And continuing to improve over and over again. Jesse Zimmer, don't worry, I see you. Good luck. Wish you the best. Yeah. Coach Jay, I love you. The house account doesn't seem to improve though. You're incorrect with that one. The house account has dramatically improved. If you have been tuning in to Topstep TV daily, you will see that the house account has been a lot more green than it has been red. It's just, for some reason, and we talked about this before, Coach Jay, traders just love focusing on red. It's maybe makes them feel better about themselves, or it gives them something to talk about. It brings out emotions. Maybe it's the same reason why news outlets, focus on the negative or dramatic news, because it brings more views. It brings more emotions, I guess. I don't know.
We appreciate the views. We appreciate the views, whether it's negative comments, good comments, whatever it is. We appreciate the view. But remember, we are all playing the same game, right? Mm-hmm. So Dakota losing a trade, sure, if I'm on the other side of it, do I want to win it? But I don't need to let him know that. I could just win the trade and not talk about it. I'm gonna have to let him know.
Yeah. What was, I seen someone in the chat had a good saying. It was like, those who know don't speak or something, and then those who don't, I can't remember what it was. But yeah, I remember when we were doing check marks. Oh man, that one was
wow. That was crazy.
That was wild. That was entertainment for sure. I mean, it's like, how do you develop a process where you have 5 cooks in the kitchen and try and make one meal, right? That's why they have a kind of like a lead chef and
sous chef.
Everyone has their own process, which the house account is beginning a lot much better, because yeah, like you said in the chat, by the time we got those check marks, the move was already done, right? A lot of them where it's like, yeah, this looks like a good trade. And then by the time we got check marks and ready to pull the trigger, the markets moved 20 points, especially during fast markets. I couldn't imagine how it would be now during this volatility, Coach Jay, where it's like, yeah, we should get long. And then by the time we come to a conclusion, the market's up 50 points, right? Too hard. It's improved.
It has definitely improved. We're going to have losing days. It's not always going to be perfect. You should have losing days, but they should be measured losing days.
Yeah, those who don't know don't speak. Those who know don't speak. Those who speak don't know. It's typically the case. Yeah, I see it all the time on social media.
Hit that like button if you haven't done so already. How's that trade working out, Dakota?
So far, so good, Coach Jay. Sitting in 10 points in a slow markets is not half bad.
This is
Back,
like throwback slow markets.
this is last night too. Last night too. This is the same thing as last night. This is where I thrive. It's boring, and it's more my style. It's slow. It's boring. It's consistent, and it's a lot. Yeah, a lot consistent. I think consistent is the best word. Last night I had a banger. Tonight, here we are on this NASDAQ long. And yeah, I think now that the markets are settled down, I hope this market stays like it, where I could see more consistency and not some of the sporadic, insane volatility that we have been seeing.
Yeah, it's nice, but it's good to take a break every once in a while from all that craziness. I don't think gold is going to give me my entry.
Fair enough. Yeah, I miss the days where I could put on a trade, put on a Netflix show, watch a movie or a show, or go eat dinner or something, and come back, and the market's moved 10 points in either direction. Now I put on the trade, I'm scared to walk away from the computer, wondering if the market's gonna be up or down a couple hundred points.
Put your stop in.
Yeah. Tuesday night, oh, I looked down 200 points. I'm like, what the heck just happened? Like, no way. And I got like 3 points of slippage. Thank goodness for the stop. But still, it was just like, not again. Here we go. Richard prefers boring, simple ocean wave market. Hopefully, slow markets does not become Monday morning NFL highlights. What? I know
That won't happen.
Slow markets will always be the same. If not, we're gonna. I want to get MP with us, Coach Jay.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Get MP on here. Get Andre's energy on here.
Yeah, Andre is like the energy. He's. I think some of Peter Tuchman rubbed off on him when it comes to that energy side. There we go. Order filled 1.
Nice.
Yeah. How are you doing, Jesse Zimmer? Oh man, he got timed out. Dang it.
Think you might have to switch over to the burner account.
Yeah, switch over to your burner account and let me know. Curious.
How many did you have on? You had on 3 there?
I had on 5.
5.
Yep. Gonna close another one off right here at 83.25. Let's see if we could push to these new sessions. Now that I've taken a couple off, I'm gonna look for us to break through these 84s and back into these 90s. Like I said, I'm playing for 800 here. I'm playing for 800 now that we're seeing some volatility.
At this point, just go get 800s, right? What are we, 17 points away?
Yeah. So I've locked in $400 on that one. I'm going to tighten up my stop to 56. So in as close as a risk-free trade as you could get. I might close another one off. I think I'm going to close one more off right here. If we could get another nice bounce back into 82.83.
Got S&P's getting ready to test a major level here too, 6,100. We're about 7 points away from there. So both of these markets in decision-making areas here. What do we do? Feels bullish though.
Yeah, I want to see us break through these 84s. If we get through these 84s, next stop, probably these 90s. The high of the session is 97. Now, the only reason why I would not want to hold this overnight is the same reason why I do not want to hold it overnight on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's still headline risk. Nothing has changed. But this market continues to go up. Here we go into the 84s.
Just watch out, Dakota, because Richard Harris said he's waiting like a ninja at 21,800 to go short. So just be careful.
All right, there we go. There we go. Just filled Jess Zimmer's stop. You laughing, Coach Jay? Nobody in the chat knows what I'm talking about because the comment got deleted.
It's like, oh, that was another fader stop. That was another fader stop there.
That's how it was during Power Hour too. It's not really. It's not really because those traders are in sims and their orders are not really hitting the books. It's just a joke.
Dakota.
Good. Andre would probably give me a smack on the hands right there again.
Scanning around is to see if there are any other markets moving much, but I think you're in the trade right now from what I'm seeing.
Yep, still in from 67.75. This is still only a practice account. Only a practice. I repeat, only a practice. Ninja Rinko, turn bar number. We can get out of one more right there, and then I'll just leave this one on as a runner. See where we go. Okay.
It's a very, very calm trade there.
Oh, feels like before December. Felt good. Felt really good. I struggle when it comes to craziness in these markets. I like slow and orderly and consistent. I'm a theta type of guy, Coach Jay.
Theta type of guy, you said?
Yeah, theta type of guy. Theta type of guy. You know what that means?
Let me remember my Greeks. Volatility.
Yeah, time decay. Yes.
Time decay. Yep, there you go.
I root for slow and boring markets. The slower, the more boring, the better.
You sell volatility and let it die.
Exactly. If we see a spike in volatility, let me short that. Not directionally, but yeah, I love that. Time is my bread and butter. A lot of traders don't realize I'm a full-time trader. I come from an options background. My main source of income is options. What I'm doing here in front of you and what I'm doing in these futures markets is, for lack of better words, my side gig. Now, it's hard to say when you put up like this in the futures day trading as a side gig, but
it's all a piece of the pie. All a piece of the pie.
Yeah, this is not something I am the best at. Nicely markets. Should we get to some trader statistics?
Yeah, if we have some time.
I think we have some time. We have 20 minutes left of slow markets. It's been very slow indeed. Well, one trade, very boring, just perfect. That's why I am hosting slow markets, because I like when the markets are slow. Yes, Christy, time to gay. It is very boring. It's very non-entertainment and not for the viewer's faint of heart in terms of boring is beautiful, though. That's how it is in the financial markets. If it's not boring, then you're probably doing something wrong, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a look at some trader statistics. So if you've missed it, let me take a look. So I'm sharing my screen. So if you would like Coach Jay and I to review your statistics, go ahead and share them under mine or Coach Jay's channel in Topstep's Discord. So it's in Topstep's Discord. Coach Jay and I, we both have a channel in there. It's under Coach Dakota or Coach Jay. Share your statistics there. Let me go through. And then right some type of note. Write a note, maybe a little bit of details of what's going on with your stats, what you'd like us to look at. The more context, the better. And the way you do that, you see everyone sees my charts, right? So this is just a practice account. Over on the top left-hand side, you click on performance, and then you click on share. You can then share a link. And then once you get this link, after you click on share, you click that, you go into that Discord. Andrew A posted that in the chat. You share that link into the channel, and you are good to go.
We got Jesse's back. Dakota, this segment is not a signals class, right? And nothing that we say should be taken as any financial advice for educational purposes only.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse says, I'm a short 21,868. He's going to fade your trade. Jesse, if you do that, you have to do it with max allocation for whatever contract account you're trading. This is not financial advice.
I missed it. What did they say?
He's going to short at 21,868, but you have to do it with your full allocation.
What? I thought they were just fading our trade. I don't know. I don't understand people.
I don't know. He's not short yet. He's going to short back at your entry. But you have to full port it. This is not financial advice. But if you're going to do it,
confused.
And say it in the chat.
Didn't they say, or didn't you just say earlier that you're just going to come in and take our entry?
I don't know. Let's get to these trader reports.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, we're spending too much time on that person. It's okay. It's okay. It's because we care. Okay. We care. And if you're going to come in the chat, we like to answer questions. We love feedback. We love criticism. We love everything. Right. But when you come into the chat, give some detail. Just be like, yeah, I'm going to fade you. The next step, you're like, yeah, actually not until way lower or something. Because that's slow markets. This trade has been going for what? This trade's been going for over 33 minutes, and it's basically over, right? It's already over, and I've already taken profits up here in these 80s for $1,000 in a practice account. So I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't think I will ever understand what goes through some people's heads in the chat. Now, if you're profitable, keep doing it. I'm never going to argue against someone who's profitable and they can do it consistently. The big question is, what would happen if YouTube goes down? Can you still be profitable? I think that's the bigger question. And I'm going through these stats, looking at him, Coach Jay. So,
yep,
if you
trying to find some,
shout it out. Well, and I could switch it to your screen.
Some of them don't seem to be loading. I don't know if that's just my side or if you're seeing that also.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it all too well either. Keep trying, keep looking. I'll keep getting to some trade. Well, sometimes if they share it and then they stop sharing, it will not do it. Try the very bottom one, Coach Jay. Is that loading for you?
Okay. Let's see.
2244.
Yes, that one loaded. Yep.
All right. Let me know when it's on yours, and then I'll switch it back to your screen. I'm going to continue to manage this trade.
Give me 1 second here. Okay, charts.
Man, I can't believe Butler's going to
the Warriors, right? It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, here we go. Seeing a bounce again. Here we go. NASDAQ's going up. Slee, why do so many people try to fade DBA? I do not know.
Here you go, Dakota. All right. So trader says, bad day on NQ. The wicks are wicked. We have a XFA that's been open since January 20th. $4,500 balance in the XFA. Big drawdown here. I'm wondering if it looks like that might have been today. Looks like you took a payout because this whole thing, I don't see that drawdown. So nice job paying yourself after starting this account profitable. 43. No, what you laughing at? 43% win rate over there. Two bigger than a 2-to-1 risk reward on this, which is nice. This looks pretty consistent. You said, bad day on the NASDAQ today. What I would say is maybe your trades didn't work out, but what's considered a bad day as far as your loss limit goes, right? How much room are you giving yourself for drawdown? Because a red day doesn't have to be a bad day, right? A red day is necessary, but planned red days and knowing exactly what they look like are great. The one thing I do see on today's or on your losing days, looks like you're trading more than on your winning days. And maybe it's because you're starting off in a hole and then trying to dig out of it, even on this day, right, where it did work out. This day it worked out where you're up 1,400, but you went down at some point. You were down almost $900, right? And then you brought it back. That's not always going to happen, right? You're not always going to be able to recover it. And I think a lot of times when we do things like this, it's okay, right? It's okay to start off with a losing day and then recover it. But at some point we have to say, okay, this is the max that I'm going to lose, because it's going to happen, right? Some days you're going to run out of time. You're not going to find a trade setup that says, hey, yeah, I can recover it. So just measure what that looks like. And if that's about $700 for you, which I think for this account is reasonable, maybe a little less, I would say, you're good to go from there.
You know what I like? I
What's
like
that?
the fact that this trader's journaling.
100%.
You don't see it very often. I know traders, maybe they don't prefer journaling inside of the platform. Maybe they have their own journal, but journaling is important. Regardless of what you think or not of it, I like that they're not only journaling on their red day. Too many traders, when I see them journaling, it's like, yeah, I journal on my bad days. Well, it's just, if not maybe even more important, to journal on your good days, because you want to duplicate what you're doing good, right? And if you don't remember, if you can't go back and be like, wow, I had a good $1,700 day, or I had a really good day in these markets, and not go back to see, maybe you're putting like, oh, what was the market doing today? Going to the emotional setting on saying, maybe it was how you were feeling, right? Did you get a good night's rest? Did you wake up early? Were you excited about the markets? Were you, awake, right? And then maybe on another day, you're like, I was just super tired. I wasn't feeling it. And I ended up trading anyway. And I ended up losing when I probably knew I shouldn't trade it. Or maybe you were sick. So all these little details, just like a professional athlete, takes care of their body, takes care of every aspect. Just because somebody knows how to play basketball doesn't mean they're just like, yeah, they just go on this court and they're going to make a game winner on a finals, right? They pay attention to every aspect, like what they eat, how they train, what they do on their off time. We have every athlete,
Alex.
right? Alex Ferreira. We went through his. He's like, I have, what was it, 10 blueberries?
Yeah.
Like 10 blueberries. Like going
Very
down
specific.
to such a fine detail of their life and being able to perform the best that they can. Now, I'm not saying everyone should do that, right? That would be kind of insane. But, to an extent, you do have to take care of yourself physically, mentally, so that you can perform as good as you can in these markets. The last thing you'd want to do is risk, thousands of dollars when you're not at your best. And the nice thing is, unlike the professional athletes, we don't have to perform if we don't want to. Now, that's debatable, okay? But yeah, if I don't want to trade this week, just take it off. If I don't want to trade today, take it off. You're not going to have people saying anything to you if you decide not to trade because you don't feel like it. I don't think I would ever see a negative comment if I at least I hope I wouldn't. If I'm like, I'm not feeling good. I didn't get a good night's sleep. So I think the best decision for me would be to not trade today. Like, I'd love to hear that from a lot of traders on all aspects. Too much, when I'm viewing these trader statistics, I just see every single day there's a trade every day, and it's just like,
Yep. You can't be on point every day, right? It's hard to
yeah,
do.
that is true.
There are going to be days where you lose, and that's why it's important to plan what it looks like. Because, like today, I said I was trading the NASDAQ, and literally my playbook buy trade, I was selling it at the exact entry where I should be buying it. If I went with ego and said no, this is a short, and my blind side wasn't protected, that could be an account killer, right? So know when you're off, and it's okay to stay away. But either way, manage your risk. But nice trade report you have here.
Yeah.
Great job paying yourself. You got any others you want to go through, Dakota?
No, I mean, that one, that was the only one I pulled up because it was working, right? Let's keep going through them.
Yep.
Keep going through. We still have 8 minutes. Let's go through one more. Sorry, guys, we didn't go through a lot because some of them, for some reason, was not loading. And it's slow markets. We having fun in the chat. Maybe shouldn't have got distracted, but that's okay. That's okay.
I got another one here. This trader said they brought this account from being 82 cents away from the max loss limit. I'm bringing this one up. That's pretty crazy. I want to see how you got there, and ideally we don't put our back against the wall like this and have to fight off the ropes.
That's crazy.
I don't know how you did that.
Micros,
but
probably.
Traders ask all the time. So yeah, it definitely had to be micros. Traders ask all the time, is this account salvageable? I have $400 left, 82 cents, and somehow made it work. So if you have a $400 drawdown, don't give up.
Did they just YOLO in? It's like, yeah, you know what? It's blowing. I'm just going to go for it. Or did they actually work on it and build their way out of it?
So a bunch of days with no trades after a 5-6 day losing streak. And then let's look at what happened. Micros, traded micros.
Okay, so it wasn't just some crazy big YOLO trying to get their way out of the hole. No, wow.
$10 at a time. $10, $16, $17. Talk about putting your ego aside.
Wow.
Somebody's going to look at this and be like, why the hell would I want to make $16 on a trade? Because you can build this account back to the point where you can take payouts from it. And this is resilience for sure. I mean, shout out to you for doing this. Traders get apathetic when they have $1,000 drawdown left in a $4,500 account.
Or wow, you don't see that very often. You're right,
no.
Coach Jay, and I think the chat called it out. It's like, oh, they were so close and they got out of it. Well, they must have just YOLO'd, right, and got lucky. This is proof that it doesn't really matter your account balance if you focus on the process. The profits will come. Like, it doesn't matter whether it's $10 a day, $20 a day. It's wow. That is a very rare thing. I don't think I've ever seen it. I've seen traders come back from like you said, a few $100, $1,000. Some would even consider it a blown account if it's within like a few $100s and just say screw it, YOLO, and they don't care whether they win or lose. But I could guarantee you something, Coach Jay.
This trader learned. Go ahead.
Yeah, that this trader, the fact that they're able to do this, and not only do this in a combine, this is an XFA, right?
Yeah.
That is dedication. That is what we want to see. It depends on whether you're able to trade for tomorrow. It's trade for tomorrow, right? Jab, jab, jab. Trade for tomorrow. You've learned more than 99% of traders from doing that. And it doesn't matter the dollar amount. Sure, right now you're sitting at $1,200 or wherever your account balance is right now. But in this period of time, in these 2 months, see, you started December 1st. This trader...
No, this goes back to November.
Oh, does it? I'm looking, okay.
November 1st.
So, yeah, even better. So in these 3 months... I could guarantee you that this trader has learned more on this one account than every single trader who has just churn and burns through accounts. Too many times I see traders with 5 days, 6 days, 7, 8 days, even 12 days in their XFA. And yeah, they make really good money some days, but then the account doesn't last longer than a month or two. Like over and over and over again. I see it on social media. I see it in the Discord. I see it in all the groups everywhere. It's great that you can trade big and you can trade and you can make lots of money, but it doesn't really mean much if it lasts like a few days, right? It's a temporary high, I guess, is what you can say it. It's a temporary
Yeah.
high because you're too comfortable with being able to reset your account or just purchase a new combine and get back there and all that, because the goal is to become a better trader and be able to do something like this. And if you could do it like this, I'm sure that you'd be able to do the same thing in your own personal live account, because ultimately that's the goal. That is the goal. This is the goal, because the goal is to get your own live account and open up your own personal account and trade good with it, so you don't have to pay a prop firm 10%.
Dakota, the biggest losing day on this account is less than $500.
Daily loss limit.
Personal daily loss limit, sticking to it. And this is an example of, I don't know exactly how this trader was trading. Maybe you took some lesser quality trades, but even if you did, you managed the risk, right? Where, hey, I could take the worst trade in the world. I'm not going to lose more than X amount of dollars. And that's what keeps an account alive. This is crazy to see.
It's I'm happy to see this. It's one, like I said, the goal is a live account, whether it's your own personal, you withdraw payouts and make your own live account so you don't have to pay the 10%. Now, I know traders might think that's crazy. Oh my gosh, a coach at Topstep saying to open my live account so I don't have to pay a prop from 10%. Yes, we absolutely love seeing traders pay themselves and doing well on their own accounts as well. MP said it before. I hear him say it all the time. Hey, the goal is your own live account. Prop firm should be used as a stepping stone to become a better trader and eventually, trade your live account. Or do both, right? You could trade a live account at a prop firm and be good at it and consistent at it and use the risk managers and risk management system and whatever benefits you can get there and trade your live account. So seeing this, that's what you don't see every day, where a trader would take that absolutely serious. 99.9% of traders would lose that 82 cents.
Oh yeah, 82 cents. Yep. Yeah, she gone. But
that's amazing.
Nice job recovering. Now build on this, right? Build on whatever experience you got from this. Don't get your account balance back above 2K and then just start. Just like, oh, now I'm good to go. I can trade five minis again. Build on this experience, because that's great to see.
Yeah. And so I don't know how to pronounce this trader's name. It says, props make money off bad traders. They want good traders to leave. So I would say real prop firms want good traders. Real prop firms that move traders to a live account want good traders. That's a fact. What everyone's used to are these pop-up prop shops who do not take traders live, and they allow traders to just churn and burn over and over and over again. And they would, of course, there's a balance, right? What's the percentage of a prop firm makes off of, blown to combines and XFAs? What's the percentage they make off of live accounts? Well, there's a big difference.
I got a question here. I'm trying to make sense of this question. Many good traders think they are using prop firms to maximize their risk contrarily when using their personal account. What do you think? Maybe it's me. Maybe it's getting late. I'm having a hard time understanding that question. I saw you posted a couple of times. Do good traders think they're using prop firms to maximize their risk? Maybe.
Yeah. Look at this NASDAQ now.
Did it just take off?
Yeah, we're up in these mid 80s. I think we just hit 788. We could watch this. I'm going to exercise. If I don't have anything good to say about something, I'm not going to say it, Coach Jay. But you can imagine my comment on this trade.
It's a good looking trade.
It's a good
looking
looking
trade so far.
process over profits, right? Trying to read that question that you said you didn't understand. Many good traders think they are using prop firms to maximize their risk. Contrarily, when using their personal account, what do you think? Yeah, I don't know if I understand that one either. I think maybe they're saying are good traders looking at prop firms as like they're less risky because they put less capital at risk?
Okay, that makes sense.
That would make
That
sense to
makes
me.
sense.
So
That makes sense.
I would agree. It's just prop for a good prop firm should be able to identify a good trader and move them to a live really quick. But you know what? I'm going to be honest, Coach Jay. Good traders can take advantage of bad prop firms. I would. But then guess what? What I see all the time. Submitted a payout request. Wish me luck. Like, what is that?
Wish me luck is crazy.
What the heck is that? You're gonna put your money into some place you don't even know. You have to just hope that you're gonna get approval on that. Good
Wish me
God.
luck is pretty crazy.
Man.
And Abdu, I got you. Okay, they tolerate more risk since they're paying for it. Yeah, I mean, if you're using a prop firm and you build up a balance and you put on a 15 lot, NASDAQ trade, are you going to do that in a personal account with the risk, with the margin requirements and things like that? Yeah, there might be the opportunity to use more leverage than you can do in a personal account. So I get your question now. Thanks for asking.
Oh yeah, that's one of the. Andre asked me during Power Hour if I've ever headbutted with the risk managers here, and I said, yeah, of course I did, right? And then 5 minutes later, we're talking about golf. You have to have thick skin in this game, and you have much bigger leverage at a prop firm, a real prop firm, than on your own personal account, right? Because in my own personal account, for example, I use interactive brokers. There's plenty of discount brokers that you could use and get decent margins, and you can have pretty high leverage, right? With high leverage, high risk. But then with a prop firm like say Topstep, I could talk to the risk managers and eventually get to say 300 contracts with say $100,000. And it's like, wow, that's a lot more than I'd probably be able to get allowed in my personal. And depending on where you're at, Robinhood just announced Robinhood, you can trade futures with Robinhood. Their margin is a whole lot bigger than what you can. And so that's always a good conversation. These are real conversations, right? This is real conversations, real trading, live markets, margin, this, and they need to be had sometimes. All right, we're coming to the end of class.
If
We
you still
are,
sit in that trade, Dakota?
yeah,
If
and
you're a parent, if you're a parent
my
out there, I don't
student,
have to tell you this. You're a parent. Hug your kids. Tell them you love them.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
tell them how important they
my
are to
camera
you.
just died. I didn't have it plugged in this entire session. It lasted a full hour, and I think that's kind of telling us it's class is over with. So I don't have anything else, Coach Jay. I think we could just end it there.
There we go. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, take care, everybody. See you bright and early tomorrow night or Friday morning. Take care.